So in the last episode, after saving Gundren Rockseeker and recovering the map to the Lost Mines, the Everwatch Rangers rushed back to Phandalin. After a night to recover, they set off to find Wave Echo Cave and face down the mysterious Black Spider. Accompanied by Sildar Hallwinter and aided by Gundren's map, the Rangers moved quickly to the room where the Black Spider was working. A battle ensued that pushed all parties to their limit, but that left the Rangers coming out on top. The Black Spider now defeated, the party made their way methodically through the caves, meeting with wandering bands of male drow guards and dispatching them quickly and effectively. In the back of the cave, in a locked room, was Nundro Rockseeker, brother of Gundren and prisoner of the Black Spider until his death. He was bloody and beaten, but after a healing potion from Sildar, was able to make his way back to the mouth of the cave. Which is where you are now. You are currently in the mouth of Wave Echo Cave. Nundro has sort of composed himself after a moment of grieving the loss of his other brother, Tharden, and you are about ready to leave. Is there anything else you'd like to do here before you do?
If I remember correctly, I was almost dead, so I want to leave.
All right. So Nundro is obviously distraught still. He's sort of collected himself, and he will spend a little while sort of arranging Tharden's stuff around him. Sildar will stand watch and make sure that he's not going to have a breakdown or anything, and the last thing he does is cover Tharden's body with a large blanket. He stands up and he announces, "All right, let's get out of here." And unless there's anything else, you all leave and you mount the cart and off you go back towards Phandalin. It is a day's journey, I believe, is how long it took you to get there last time. Is that correct?
Day's journey, like 12 hours, or is it 24 of travel time? Holy travel time.
I think it's between
is it just traveling and rest time, or is it just travel?
Mostly just travel. If you're traveling hard, it'll be 8. If you're not, it'll probably be closer to 10 or 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
One more PSA. I'm not taking any notes this session, so somebody else should probably do it. Otherwise, we're just gonna have a gap in storytelling.
Yeah. And I don't know how good your memory is, but info dumps may appear at some point in the future. So, you get back into Phandalin. It is.
Oh, Puffer, you should do that because I have to deal with 2 characters.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how this is going to work out. I see. So
this is going to be the worst notes that we've ever had.
Considering that you all, considering when you all got there last time, which probably would have been early morning, you knowing what you were getting into, you probably wouldn't have gone in immediately. So you probably make camp somewhere about halfway, just to make sure that everybody is well rested and safe from the darkness around you. And then you arrive in town about midday the next day, or probably a little bit closer towards the evening. And when you roll into town, is there any particular place that you want to take Tharden, or are you going to
Nundro?
Yes, Nundro. My apologies. I'm gonna do that a couple of times. Is there any place that you would like?
Take Tharden's body with us?
No.
Okay.
No.
We'll take him to wherever his brother is, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like that's the most important.
So, you pull up to the townmaster's hall, which is at Sildar's suggestion, and Sildar will dismount and walk inside, and he will come back out, sort of shaking his head and say, "It appears that Gundren has taken up residence at the Sleeping Giant Tap House." And you can hear him sort of mumble under his breath, "Typical dwarf."
Racist!
He mounts
Does he say that like where Nundro can hear that?
He says it. Well, hold on. I'm gonna roll 2d20 here.
Because like he's definitely right next to us.
No. Nundro does not hear him.
Okay.
However, you've probably worked with dwarves in the past, and that's more of a mark of pride than anything. It's like out of storyline here for a second. One of the ways that priests...
Ready?
Okay, so dwarf priests brew beer as, like, proof of their faith. It's like they have a literal holy brew.
So they just get fucking wasted on Sunday?
Yep. Pretty much.
Sounds pretty nice.
Dope, yeah.
So you move around and you come to the Sleeping Giant tap house here. And does anyone want to go in, or will you let Sildar handle this?
I mean,
I wanna
Sildar
go
knows
in.
I'm the best, so I'd follow but not lead.
Okay. So you pull the cart alongside the bar, and this will be the first time that you've been in. Most of the eating and drinking that you've done has been at the inn down the street. So you walk inside, and it's not great. It's a rundown tap house. It's a little dirty, kind of dangerous looking. Like if this was in Waterdeep or Neverwinter, this would be where you would go if you really wanted to get a hold of a rogue or like an assassin of some sort. You actually see... let me have perception from all of you.
Who wants to roll mine for me?
Can't.
But
All right.
what's your...
All right.
If you send me your modifiers, I can do all your adult rolls for you.
I got it.
You can take out another one of my character sheets, Buffer, if you want to like print one.
No, I
Are you like not looking at your computer at all?
That's the problem. I don't have a problem rolling them. It hurts to look at a screen. So I have a
Okay.
character sheet printed out, so I can tell you my mods and stuff.
All right,
Okay.
there we go. Okay. Yeah. So you just
you-
you walk inside and it's just kind of dirty. You don't see anyone tending bar at first. There's nobody. So it's 2 stories. The first floor is tables in the front, and then the back are a couple of like closed off tables with like curtains across them. The curtains are all open, and there are like 1 or 2 parties back there just drinking and maybe eating bar snacks. You know, a little table of a little bowl of peanuts or some shenanigans. And over in the corner under the staircase, you see Gundren. He is currently sort of nursing a pint while 4 other mugs are off to the side that are empty. And he has a map of the mines out. You recognize this. You took a copy of the original map with you, and this is the original that he's poring over and making notes and then taking a giant gulp. And you walk in, and all of a sudden, just popping up, just immediately just up, is a female dwarven face who looks at all of you and says, "What do you want?" "Oh, Sildar. Well, hello there." Sildar will say, "Hello, Grista. Keeping out of trouble?" No, not at all. Sit where you like. And he'll nod at her and walk towards Gundren.
What is her name?
Grista.
Krista. Oh,
Grista.
figure. She's a dwarven soccer mom.
That is
She,
not... yeah, actually. Fair.
I'm good at this.
is she shorter or taller than Fitz?
Taller.
What's her height in inches, bitch?
Everyone is.
I think that gnomes are actually the shortest race. Halfling.
What is her height?
I don't know. She's standard dwarf height.
Wow, okay. He doesn't know. Oh, I don't know.
You're the worst.
You called me short.
You are short.
You're a gnome.
That's beside the point.
So, Sildar will make his way over to Gundren. And you notice that Nundro has not really put anything together yet. He's sort of having a bit of trouble. He's been through a lot. He probably just needs a place to lie down. And Sildar goes over to Gundren's table. Gundren and he engage in light conversation, by which I mean very loud conversation from Gundren, quiet conversation from Sildar, and then just in the blink of an eye, Gundren is charging at Nundro across the room. And they embrace, it with the sound of like two boulders colliding. They hit each other in a giant hug. And you think that if it hadn't been for the healing potion that Sildar gave him and a night's rest, Nundro would probably be back on the cart, just thrown out the door. And then they are walking over back towards the table. Gundren has not seen you to the best of your knowledge. Sildar is walking back towards you. He flicks a cup, like a small handful of gold at Grista, who nods at him, and then he ushers you out the door.
Okay, let's get out of here. Give him some space.
Okay.
So you load back up, and Sildar will take you back to the Townmaster's Hall, walk you inside. "Gentlemen, another fine day of good work. We will, now that this whole business is taken care of, we will have to figure out some way of repaying you for your services. That initial 15 gold that Gundren offered you for guarding a wagon train isn't enough. I'll see what the town funds can afford, and we'll get you something. You have no idea yet what you have done, not only for Gundren and Phandalin, but for the Sword Coast at large."
Glad to be of help.
Well, if there's anything else you need from me this evening, you know where to find me. Other than that, I think that's all, and I will see you in the morning.
One more thing,
End session.
Sildar.
We're done.
What was it, Face?
One more thing, Sildar. I know we have been deputies here for a little while, but now that all this business is more or less cleaned up, I do not know how much longer you'll need our services here, but when do you think that will be done, and will you release us from your service when that time comes?
I can't keep you here. That would
I'm
be.
keeping my badge.
He looks at you, like not even confused, just sort of reading, thinking. It's like, sure, yeah, no, that's fine.
Thanks.
Put it on your hat.
Oh my stars! He puts it on just the band of the hat in place of a standard buckle.
Oh man.
Oh, this is
Wow.
beautiful. And he will say, obviously, Thanar, I can't keep you here. If you're willing to stay for any period of time, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, you're free to go whenever you like. I never had any sway over keeping you here other than, pay and the feeling of a job well done.
Perfect. If you could possibly put in a good word with the Everwatch Rangers when we leave here, that would be much appreciated.
Oh, certainly. You get my full 5-star recommendation.
Thank you, Sildar. And I'll reach out for like the bro-man hand hug shake.
Like
Dude, I don't even know how to do that.
you grasp each other's forearm instead of the hand.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then like if Fitz had taken this shoulder like smack that you give each other, he would have shattered into a million pieces. And probably Mauba as well. But this is like a knight in full armor and a half-orc fighter, and it's just it rings with the sound of an avalanche.
Nice.
And you part for the evening. And if there's nowhere else you'd like to go, you probably retire to the Stonehill Inn.
Yeah, I mean, we've been traveling all day, so
Yeah.
I imagine
Yeah.
we would want to get some rest.
Okay. You go inside, have a bath, change into clean clothes, and eventually take your rest for the evening. And when you awaken the next morning, you all have reached 4th level. Yay!
Woohoo!
Big pog.
Is there anything in particular interesting that you'd like to tell us about your 4th level?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
The 4th level didn't matter for me, so
Right.
I'd like you to give us a full rundown of your 4th level for your new character.
So, okay, I'll handle this. At
alert.
4th level, Mauba evolves into a different character.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he change from black to white?
God.
I'm sorry.
Well, I can't publish this video now. Way to go.
It's just a Michael Jackson.
Oh, it got worse.
He's
It got worse.
He's rising to fame.
It got worse. Okay. So we'll deal with Mauba's transformations at a later date. And Face, I don't think you got much 4th level work done that you intended to because of
No, I really didn't have much.
you fight more good. I think is
yeah,
the
I can
basic.
just go ham now. That's about it with my heavy armor master.
So
Now,
You get
Do you
the
just
acronym?
take less damage?
Essentially.
Dude, that's pretty good.
so he's got damage resistance 3 now, which is like buh.
A lot.
Plus,
and that's if something
So-
hits him in the first place.
yeah.
One thing I saw that I thought I should bring up, it technically doesn't work against any weapons. Well, I'm not sure. It kind of depends on how you interpret it, so you might want to take a look at it later. That have magically imbued effects on them.
Right.
I'm not quite
Well,
sure
like,
if it
well, like
works or
Street
not
Strike
with
or
that.
something. But
So if you were to be hit by
And then the other thing
Talon,
I saw,
you would take full damage because Talon is a magic weapon.
yeah. And so the other thing I saw, if it ends up being too much damage reduction, just if you feel like it, you can make it be my proficiency mod. instead of just a flat 3, because that'll make it a little less effective for the first levels. But again, it makes it more effective later levels. So
I think it's okay to stick it with 3 as it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should be fine. Now I know that Fitz took an interesting feat. That I think.
I wasn't gonna mention it. I was just gonna let it happen.
Okay, well that's okay too. We can do that instead. All right.
Is Fitz taller than the dwarf barmaid if he has another feat?
I'm not answering that. I refuse.
That
in
was
fact.
bad, and you should feel bad.
Feel pretty good.
Oh, I get it. That sucked.
That's even
For some
funnier that
reason,
he
I thought
didn't get it for
said,
that long.
like a foot that you put in your shoe, and I was just like, why would I be taller if I had a third foot?
Because then you'd be 3 feet tall instead of your 2 feet tall right
He
now.
is 3 feet tall, bitch.
I think that most gnomes are 2.5 feet tall.
No, most gnomes are 3.
Are they really? Oh.
Yeah, he's taller. He's tall for a gnome. He's
It's like 3'2" to 3'7".
All right. Mr. Fancy Pants knows all the.
I looked it up
Awesome.
like 5 minutes ago to see if halflings are taller than gnomes, and they are.
Okay, cool.
It's half.
Yep, half of a human. Apparently, humans are the standard measurement in Faerun. Because
1/4 human.
I guess, yeah. They are gnomish. So you awaken. You feel excellent, having grown to 4th level. How do you conduct yourself?
I'm gonna go down, have some breakfast, wait for the others, because I want to talk about the agenda for the day.
Yeah, I'll go down too, and we got to start talking about like contacting the rangers to say that more or less the work here is done, and what to do from here.
Fitz isn't gonna get dressed, but he'll go down.
So Fitz
you're in your
Fitz emerges
pajamas?
completely naked.
No, not naked. He has pajamas. He sleeps in his pajamas.
Right,
Oh, remember the starry pajamas?
the dark
Yeah,
blue
with that-
silk pajamas with the
Yeah.
blue
No, Fitz
stars
isn't
on
a
them.
heathen. He doesn't sleep naked, dude. What do you think? He's rich. Why would he do that?
This is true.
So, does Fitz wear his nightcap, or does he wear his new wizard hat when he sleeps now?
Probably still the nightcap, because if he wore the wizard hat, it'd like push him off the bed.
It is a very large hat. Now the question is, that's what he wears to sleep in. What does he wear downstairs?
Oh, pajamas.
No. I mean, does he
And-
wear the sleeping hat downstairs, or does he pause to put the wizard hat on?
He did just get it yesterday. I don't think the novelty's worn off. Yeah? Yeah, he takes the big hat.
Of course he does. Excellent. So you emerge. Last night, you got in a little before dinner, and being a gentleman, you took your hat off before eating dinner. You didn't wear it at the table. But when you emerge this morning, it's breakfast time, right? And so
Yep.
the inn is fairly full with breakfast patrons enjoying their hot cakes and blood sausages and generally a lesser version of the full English breakfast. And a hat comes down the stairs. And I described it previously as the tip just sort of flopping back and forth, alternating with each footstep, and the edges sort of bobbing up and down as you walk. And this comes down the stairs. And there's just this silence that descends over the whole room. And you approach the table, and now the 3 of you are sitting at the table, prepared for the breakfasts.
So there's 4 chairs, right? At this table.
Yes.
I put the hat on its own chair.
Yeah. Anyway, so you get done with that, and you head back to town. You head back into the Stonehill Inn. You've had a bit, not a lot, but a bit. And at around dinner time, Sildar comes in. And he looks around and he sees you and he comes over to the table. And he'll say, "All right, so I had a bit of a talk with Harbin Wester, and we were able to procure from the town funds 150 gold. That should be 50 for each of you for services rendered, plus another 150 for your saving the town from the Red Brands. So that is a lot of gold."
Yeah?
And it is greatly appreciated.
Fitz pretends to care about 300 gold.
God damn it, I hate you.
Wow.
You hoard all the gold. It doesn't make sense.
And he has 3 bundles of 3 bags with 100 gold in them, and he tosses one to each of you. So you each may add 100 gold to your inventory.
Because that doesn't really do much for me, does it?
It will.
Oh, okay.
We'll deal with that later. Because I imagine that'll be good to just calculate into the whole thing anyway. And he'll say, "I know we've said it before, and I know that you're sort of treated like heroes around here as you go about after what you've done, but we can't thank you enough. I know that I couldn't have taken on the Red Brands by myself, and I don't know that without you, Darren would have come out of retirement as much as he has, and I don't know what would have happened, boys, but I'm glad that what did happen was you."
Well, we're glad to help. That's what we do. Helping. Fuck was that noise?
I was laughing.
Oh, okay.
And he'll stand and he'll pat you on the shoulder, Malba, and he'll say, "Actually, as I was leaving, Sarah asked me to hand these to you." And he hands you 3 envelopes.
Oh.
They're postmarked to you. I guess the hold sent them on.
Oh, okay. Is there like a date on each envelope? Like when
yes,
they
we'll
were
get into
sent?
that. But before he does that, he says, "Have a good evening, gentlemen," and he leaves.
Thank you.
So, it has been a while, Malba, since you've heard from home. But these are all addressed to you in a very familiar script. And they all are dated. The first letter is in a clean off-white envelope. There is a strip of paper wrapped around it, outside of the envelope entirely. It has the mark of the Neverwinter Post on it, and it is dated as being received by them 2 months ago.
Okay.
Do you
I
open it,
open it
or
and
do you
see
look
what
at
it
all
says.
3 of them?
I'll just open it.
It begins, "Dearest Mao, I hope all is well with you. The daily goings on in Tulai are as I'm sure you remember them." And it goes on to talk about your child and your friends from the old days, and it ends, "Love, Che."
What did you name her?
CHE. I was going for more like a chi, but
She is good.
That's fine.
You've never said it with your meat mouth.
Yeah, it's chi.
Okay, chi it is.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
not be okay with that other one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Mao and Che have a relationship going on.
Okay.
Is that all? Just
Oh
like
my god.
Oh god.
Oh.
The second letter is much the same. A clean envelope marked with a similar strip of paper, marked as being received in Neverwinter's post about a month ago now. The contents are similar to the first, with new stories of how your child is faring and how she has been handling the loneliness of your absence and the daily burden of leadership. She ends the letter speaking of seeing merchant vessels on the horizon and how good it is to be recognized as a viable port again. The third letter...
This is making me like miss my family a little bit, my little kid.
The third letter is in rough shape. The paper looks as though it's been carried rough and is smudged with dirt and water. The marks say that it has been received in Neverwinter not much more than 2 weeks ago. It reads, "Dearest, I haven't much time. The ships I prayed were merchants were instead packed with mercenaries hired by the Duke. He has returned after all this time to reclaim what we took from him. July fights back, but most here are not warriors, and those that stood with us all that time ago have lost much of their strength. Please, if you can, return to us. The hero of Tulai is needed again to spur the people on. I don't know that anything else can. I pray the luck of Tymora to us all, and that you pass unseen by Umberlee across the waters. Be quick, my love. Chi."
I'm like kind of shocked at this point. Like my hand is shaking a little bit while I'm holding the letter.
Hey, buddy, you all right?
Honestly, no. My people are in trouble back home, and it's not good. It's not good at all. They're meant to be fighters. They're just regular people that want to leave a modest life, and I have to go back. I have to help them. They're in too much trouble right now.
Do they need your help or our help?
I mean, I don't want to drag you guys with me, honestly. Like, I'll be honest, there's no gold in it for you guys if you come. We're not the wealthiest. And I know you guys have a little bit of good in your heart, but this is asking for too much, honestly.
If you need us, we're just a letter away.
I really appreciate that. Actually, I'm gonna try to find someone to replace me in my absence. I think that's the least I can do for you guys.
Well,
It would be lonesome with just Fitz.
I'm gonna slap
laugh
Thanar
a
around
little.
and say,
I laugh a
"Oh,
little.
But as I say that, I put up my hand on like Fitz's on his back and pat him, like not a childish pat, like a brotherly pat.
I guess I'll accept. I'll say, well, we'll miss having you around."
I'll miss you guys too. You definitely grew to become a family of mine, and you're always welcome if you ever want to visit when my nation's in better terms.
As I said, we're just a letter away. Let us know. When do you need to head out?
As soon as possible. This letter was dated 2 weeks ago. So that means it was sent 2 weeks ago from my home, or it was arrived at...
It arrived in Neverwinter 2 weeks ago.
So this is probably like 3-4 weeks ago, like a good month.
Yeah, it's probably been about a month since she sent it.
Yeah, it's been a month probably since this was sent. So I don't even know what I'll be going back to, but time is of the essence, and I really need to help my family, help my people.
We understand. Is there anything we can do to help you?
I guess the guy that I'm thinking of to take my place isn't the most social of people. He's not a leader. He's definitely more of a follower, but he's strong. He'll make sure you guys are safe, but he won't open up more than that.
Now,
So just
as
careful
as
with
the
them.
dungeon master, I'd like to step in real quick and ask you a question. Did you make it canonical that you don't have to talk much anymore?
I mean, I didn't know how else to do it. Because, like, if I would have gotten this letter, I would have wanted to leave immediately.
I mean, you certainly can leave immediately.
Like, within 24 hours with what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, you can certainly do that.
I thought you were gonna leave tonight.
Yeah, that's what I would do, honestly.
Okay. Now, I will mention this.
That is pretty funny though. Canonical silence.
I'm kind of pissed about it.
The letter did read, and you remember this as you see her pray the luck of Tymora to you all. There is a shrine of luck in town.
Teleportation!
Man.
Hmm?
What does that mean? Like, how?
It is a church of Tymora. Sister Garael is a priestess of Tymora.
Okay, so I can, like, pray, I guess?
Before
Okay.
setting out, if you think that's something that Malba would want to do. Or does he just pack
I don't
everything
know.
and go?
Yeah, I feel like my wife would be more of the person who would,
My
like, look
wife.
towards... Okay, calm down. Would be the person more to look towards, like, religion, but I know, like, any second wasted could be tragic, so I would skip the shrine.
Okay. You also do know that you would be expected, and they might even be able to help you, to get back to Helm's Hold first.
Yeah, that I would go to Helmshold, let them know of the situation, recommend what's his face, and then see if they can charter me to Lay.
Okay. All right.
Do you want us to send a letter ahead of you to possibly let them know in advance you're coming?
Would a letter get there before I get there with the mailman just walking out?
A tube letter. Whatever we call those things. A magical
yeah.
letter.
I would greatly appreciate it if you could send that in advance to let them know of the
No
situation.
problem.
I imagine a lot of this conversation is done like either just inside or outside of Malba's room as he's packing. It's like this has moved away from the table downstairs and has gone up to your rooms. And I see, and let me know if I'm wrong, but I see Malba just shoving things into his bag as he asks you to do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I'm packed up and I'm, like, walking out of the inn, and I'll give both the two guys just, like, a quick hug and just get going.
Okay.
Well, goodbye and thanks, Malbama!
Way to go.
Godspeed, brother.
And I walk away. I grab a horse at Barthen's, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, you let him know how serious it is, and he will certainly lend you one. Wish you care on the road, and off you go.
And Fitz will sit back down and write out the letter now, detailing the situation.
What do you say?
I would explain that Malba is returning to Humshold without the rest of us, and that he is in urgent need of passage home, and that he will fill in the details when he arrives.
All right. As you are writing this letter, you receive one. You don't have to read it right now, but you do receive it before you even finish yours.
I'll finish mine and take the other one out.
What happens if there's a letter in the tube when another one comes?
That's what I
Break
was
the
thinking.
space-time continuum?
It just implodes and fades ends.
The actual answer is that both letters exist in the tube at the same time. Like, it's fine.
fucked up, dude.
It's like if you have one in at the same time that one shows up, it's just like either inside or outside, since they both have to be rolled up. Like if you did something stupid, like shove the thing entirely full, the new letter would come in and shatter the tube.
How sad.
Yup. So, you pull the letter you just got out, put the new letter in and light it. Off it goes in a shower of sparks.
Ooh.
And what do you want to do?
I want to read the other letter.
Okay. Congratulations. Your efforts have relieved the hold of one of our greatest failings. In recognition of this accomplishment, we are currently offering the Phandalin branch, this is in quotation marks, of the Everwatch Rangers, a freelance license to be delivered by hand by Priat Abriv Hadam. He should be arriving within the month. Please remain in location. And once more, our deepest thanks. And it is signed Priat Abriv Hadam, Helmshold, Everwatch Rangers.
So I was writing that down and then spaced. What is he bringing us?
He is offering you a freelance license.
Okay.
And I don't know that you have encountered this kind of language before. This sort of seems like a big deal.
Do I know what the freelance license does besides assuming?
Make a history check. Okay.
Jesus.
It's not bad. You have, since you've been in the hold for a little while, you've heard of whispers of freelance rangers. These are people who are sanctioned by the hold to go out into the world and adventure, like sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Unaffiliated adventuring parties, but you are able to function without having to receive orders from the hold in order to act. You can just sort of act on adventure as you find it, under the umbrella of protection and guidance from Helmshold.
Okay.
And if you have any other questions, if you accept this offer, your Priat will explain more about the offer.
That'd be funny if he comes all the way out here and we're just like, nah.
I mean, one way or the other, he's going to want to see you and thank you. Sort of the... Fitz, do you give this letter off to Thanar?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanar, how do you react?
I feel like it sounds kind of nice to hold our own leash. Now that Thanar is out of the military, he's thinking like, yeah, this might be nice for once. Get to do what I want.
Okay. Now, you know that you will still be... well, you'll get that explained to you later.
Yeah, I get it, though.
Yeah.
We just have some free range of motion.
Well, right. You still have to abide by the bylaws and such of Helmshold and all, but... So, there you have it. That is sort of the evening. Malba has ridden off into the sunset. You have written your letters and all. And I think that is a good place to take a break real quick. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds good.